And what's up, everybody? This is Terminator Juice, and welcome to the Juice is Loose, episode 23. Today we're going to be talking about Smash Brothers Wii U and Amiibo figures. We're not going to be doing the usual discussion, though, character roster and all that. I'm going to kind of broaden the topics to relating to Nintendo's success, the Wii U success from this point on with the big title Smash coming out and the Amiibos, and we're going to discuss that. And so before we get into that, let's introduce the guests here. I'll start from my left here. We got ASAP Rel.
Hey, what's going on, yo?
What's up? We got Derek Steelfox.
Hello, everybody.
Mega Gamer Games Rosa.
Yo, how's it going?
Michael.
Hey guys, what's up?
And a first timer on the Juice is Loose, I believe, the Zen Gamer.
What's up, people?
Hey, thanks for being here. So we all know Smash is coming out. Everyone's excited. We'll talk about that. But before we get into that, I'm just going to ask everybody, how are they getting Smash? Are they going to a midnight release? And are you downloading it? Are you buying it physical? And we'll just kind of cover that first, just to kind of get that out of the way. Because for me and Derek here in Michigan, West Michigan, we have, for the first time ever, the GameStop's having a midnight release for a Nintendo game. Period. I definitely know it's the first Wii U one. I don't think any on the Wii that I was a part of, so this is kind of a monumentous moment. We're going on Thursday at 9. They're having a little Smash tournament, and the winner gets an Amiibo figure, I believe. So that's really cool. I'm going to support that. I'm going to probably order some Amiibos or something because I'm getting the game digitally. If you guys follow me on Google, I already have the game pre-installed, and I believe Zen, you're the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a cool feature, and then there's like 3 gigs left to download starting at midnight. But everyone else, I'm not sure what everyone else is doing, so let's start with you, Mike. How are you getting the game? Are you doing anything special? Any midnight releases or anything?
No, I'm not gonna get the midnight release, but I'm getting the $100 bundle, so I'm gonna have the ability to use the GameCube controllers, and yeah, I'm going to pick it up at my local GameStop.
What, are they open probably 10 a.m. or something the next day? Or you're going on the Friday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm not a kid anymore. I just don't have that super excitement that I have to get it at midnight anymore.
Yeah. Well, me and Derek and Rel, I know are all kids because we're going to be playing at midnight, so you're going to be missing out. But
it could also be that I'm just so, like, I have so many games to play from Nintendo right now that I just can't get into the hype, you know.
That's true. Well, we'll be having fun without you anyway. But games, how are you picking up the game, and when are you getting it? Are you getting it early, like you did for the 3DS?
No, I'm not. But the thing is, and because I do want that free Amiibo, so I did pre-order at Toys R Us. But the good thing about them that is not good about GameStop, because over here they're not having no midnight release, because apparently my GameStop is one of those stores where they neglect everything Nintendo. But Toys R Us, of course, they open at 9 a.m., so I'm just gonna go over there and just get the Amiibo, come back home and play, and then start my thing. But yeah, I mean it's not really a big deal. I mean, so what? So I mean, you get to play the game early, but I can get through all that stuff within, like, how can I say, like, within like an hour. So it's like, okay.
Plus, you're getting a free Amiibo. I mean, that's $13.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, why not? You know, that's actually a really good value. That's why, like, I kind of was like, should I or should I not? But then, you know, Toys R Us are having this whole thing. So I was just like, screw that. You know, I'm going to Toys R Us and getting that free Amiibo with it, and that's basically like a bundle right there. So why not? You know, I'm fine with it.
I'm sure the Nintendo World Store is going to be pretty packed.
That's why I kind of like was deciding not to go there because of that reason. Because it's like it's going to be packed full of people, and I'm not going to stand there in a store with all these sweaty people around. Okay, I'm just going to be home playing Smash. Huh?
Why's everybody got to be sweating? They're excited for Smash.
You don't know it gets hot in there when there's like 50,000 people in one tiny little building.
So you get sweaty is what you're saying.
Oh, no. What the frick?
Especially when Bayonetta was there. That
Yeah, probably a lot of
no,
sweaty
no,
gamers.
Oh.
Nah, but it was I'm not planning to do that. That's too much. That and for Smash, that's too much. Way too much.
all right, Raul. What about you? I forget what you said you were gonna do.
I'm going to the over here. I'm in Cali, so the 9 p.m. release because we getting ours at 9
Oh
p.m.
yeah,
So
you were just telling me about that.
yeah, so I'm going to go pick that up at 9 p.m.
Yeah,
at
for those of you
GameStop.
that don't know, California is getting the game at 9 p.m. to be this.
Yeah, because they suck.
Because the East Coast is getting it. So that's
Well, actually, that's the best news I've heard all day because that means I get it at 12 when I'm supposed to. I don't have to wait on you guys.
yeah, that's a really cool thing. You said they're doing it for other games too, like Master Chief and all that. So, what about any kind of promotion, anything going on at that store, or just?
I'm not sure about that one, but my buddies are going to 2 other local Game Stops and they're having tournaments there. But that's really all I know. I think they're probably gonna they're gonna do a tournament there too, and I think they're giving away a free amiibo.
Yeah, you should try to enter in that. I know, you're pretty good, so you might have a chance.
Yeah.
I know Derek's gonna come home with one, so.
No, he's doing free for all items.
Yeah, that's true. It is.
You're gonna block him from it. Just wait.
And we have our final guest finally showed up. What's up, Shadow Fox?
What's going on, guys? Sorry I'm late. Had some distractions.
That's all right. So we were just talking about how we're picking up Smash, how we're getting it, if we're going to the midnight release, if there's anything going on where you live. So how are you picking up Smash?
It's going to be kind of interesting for me because if it does happen for me, it'll be going through the dreaded GameStop route. You may have seen a recent post from me about that, and I'm not really thrilled about that, but I may end up doing that as far as the quote-unquote midnight release since they're apparently supporting one.
Mm-hmm.
If not, then it will end up being a Christmas present because I have a house full of children that are wanting both the 3DS and the Wii U version, so we'll see what happens with that.
And welcome to the Juices Loose, first time guest.
Yeah, long time listener.
Appreciate that. And real quick, is everybody getting the physical copy? Or are you getting the $100 bundle with the adapter and controller? Is there anybody
I'm getting the bundle.
All
Yeah,
right.
the bundle for me.
Bundle.
And for us digital guys, Zen, are you gonna? I know you said previously you're gonna play with the Pro Controller, right? Or the gamepad?
Yeah, that's the plan. The Pro Controller first. Let's see how that works. If I can co-opt the Wii U gamepad, then I will. But we'll see how it goes. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and Derek's hoping, because he's getting it digital too, he's hoping, you're hoping that they have the adapters available when we go to that little release party.
I just talked to him. He said he's going to order an extra one in for me to make sure they have it, because he said he's pretty sure they're going to be short on stock again, just like Nintendo always does. They have some issue going on, GameStop and Nintendo.
Yeah, I don't think they have the best relationship. So, all right. With all that out of the way, I'm going to get to the questions. I'm going to pick somebody, ask them a question, then we'll just leave it open for anyone else to come in and discuss. So since I got 2 first-timers on here, I'm going to go to them first. Zen, this might be kind of a deep question to start out with, but how do you feel, Smash Brothers for Wii U is going to impact the Wii U sales, like the console sales moving forward this holiday season and then beyond? They're saying the pre-orders are higher than Mario Kart 8 and the highest ever for a Wii U title. So, what's your feelings on this game in particular and how it will benefit and boost sales for the Wii U for the holiday and beyond?
Okay. Well, I did say the pre-orders are higher than what we had for Mario Kart 8. Then that leads me to believe. Well, Mario Kart went on to sell 2.1 million.
1.2 in the first.
1.2 million. Reverse the numbers. 1.2 million in that first weekend. So if it's higher, then we can see, maybe 1.5, 2 million in that first weekend. Maybe go on to see maybe 3 mil within the month, within December, by the end of the year. I see a lot of consoles being bought for this game. There are a lot of people who, they refused or they refrained from buying a Wii U console until the game that they wanted came out. For some people, that was Mario Kart. For some people, it was Bayonetta 2. Others, Hyrule Warriors. But I think the heaviest number of persons buying a console for a game this year will be for Smash Bros. Wii U. They've done a good job promoting it, so it's pretty hard to say. It's pretty hard to say, it's not gonna affect the console sales long run. It is. It definitely will. The pre-orders look good according to Reggie. We didn't get any exact numbers, but it looks hopeful thus far. Going forward, Nintendo titles are evergreen titles. It'll continue to sell. People will begin realizing, this system has a decent lineup now, as opposed to previously, and they'll begin jumping in. But Smash Bros. Will definitely affect the Wii U hardware in terms of sales. I can't really see it any other way, to be honest. I mean, if it can't, what will?
Yeah. Well, 3D World last year, almost did 2 million console sales after 3D World hit, and from that holiday season, and that game sitting around 2 million. So, and this being a holiday with Smash, I think it's going to be. I'd be surprised if there isn't 3 million more Wii U's by the end of the year from this pretty much this point till the end of the year, which would be pretty impressive. Anybody else have any feelings on how they feel Smash will increase the hardware sales?
Well, especially where I am, it will, because we are a Smashville over here. Like, literally, I'm not kidding. I have people that I talk to every day that they're going to get a Wii U and excuse the Telemundo, I'm really sorry. But the thing is, it's over here we really like Smash, and there's people, at least 5 people that told me today that they're gonna get a Wii U because of Smash, and it's really really exciting because now I'm gonna add them and beat their ass. But anyway, yeah, it's just it will do something, because honestly, if this title does not do anything, then I honestly think that nothing can help this console. Like, nothing can. So Smash Brothers will do fine. I'm hoping it does, fantastic numbers, which I know it will, and really, sell. I wouldn't go too far into saying 3 million like that. I would say around 2 million, 2.5, around there. So I could really see that number, especially for Smash. So yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to point out. Sorry, Mike. I'll give you. Let me just remind people that Smash isn't coming out globally like Mario Kart 8 on the same day. Europe's getting a week later. In Japan, correct me if I'm wrong, is that December 5th in Japan? So we'll have to wait until all the launches to combine those numbers to see what it really does in its first weekend. But just keep that in mind, that will help continue the sales, because Europe will get it and then Japan will get it, so the console sales should be climbing consistently. So go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to say, I don't know what number Smash will make, but I think it will be a significant boost to Wii U sales, and it will contribute to selling the console itself. Like it will sell more consoles. It will raise the percentage up, and but that's not going to save the Wii U. I mean, in order to make it a success, this has to be like a booster shot to make people get interested and to make people take notice of it. And then Nintendo needs to make 2015 a spectacular year for the Wii U with tons of games coming out and great content. And they just got to push out that software, and then that will sell the hardware. That's always how it is with Nintendo. They give you the software, and the hardware sells. We saw it with the 3DS. And I think we can see it with the Wii U, so long as they don't bank everything on Smash. They got to have a good 2015 for the Wii U to be successful. That's what I think.
That's a good point. But definitely, Shadow Fox, I'll ask you, does it seem like Smash is that one game that's getting more of the people on the fence, or the hardcore gamers? It seems like a lot of people are talking about Smash. More so than any of the other games like Mario Kart or 3D World or even Bayonetta. Do you feel that? That's
Well,
true, or
I'm kind of seeing that kind of from the press. But over time, Smash Brothers has been effective as far as moving units. It may not have been in the U.S. every single time. I think it was more during the GameCube era that it was moving more units in the U.S. than say Japan or something of that nature. Last generation, the console mover was Mario Kart and obviously Wii Sports and Wii Play, um, and Wii Fit. But with I think Brawl did what, maybe close to, maybe a little bit more. I think it did maybe 10 million
hmm
last generation. Um, on a 24 million user base, so that it obviously moved consoles at that point. This generation, it's kind of odd to say. Right now a pack-in once again has the highest ratio, and believe it or not, that's Nintendo Land. So until New Super Mario Bros. U eventually catches up, which is that was in second place for, if I'm not mistaken, for
hmm
quite a while, and I think Mario Kart is third. So unless uh unless Smash significantly changes the way things have gone versus what Mario Kart 8 is doing, I'm kind of thinking that it's really just going to be a plethora of games that come out selling millions of copies that eventually get people to move over to the Wii U. Because at this point, there are maybe 9 or so first-party million sellers that Nintendo has alone. As far as making the console profitable, well, it's going to be profitable for them anyway, but
hmm
is getting more users to actively build the user base. So we're starting to see, like, after a certain million sellers, say Mario 3D World, now all of a sudden there's 500,000 more Wii U owners magically. They came out of nowhere. Mario Kart 8 shows up, and now all of a sudden there's 1.2 million Wii U's more than there was last year. So over time, titles like Smash Brothers and Splatoon and things like that, once they start getting the snowball rolling, I think that's what's going to end up happening versus Smash Bros. Doing it on its own. It could be Amiibo. We don't know. I mean,
Exactly.
that could be their lightning in the bottle. And since it's really being supported with Smash Brothers, like kind of off the rip right now, that may be what makes Smash Brothers the killer app. But it's not going to be Smash Brothers alone. I don't think, not this time around.
All right. Yeah, and we'll talk about amiibos. I got a few questions to ask you guys about amiibos later. So let me go to Rel here. This one kind of a weird question. I mean, we're all Wii U owners, so it's hard to answer this. But what do you think about Nintendo not having a Smash Wii U console bundle available for all these new, what we think are going to be a lot of new Wii U owners? Do you feel it was a mistake not to have a Smash bundle, or I mean, it's hard to say as Wii U owners, but how do you feel about them not doing a bundle for the console itself?
I kind of feel like it's kind of a missed opportunity. I think they could have really pushed some more units with that. I mean, the Mario Kart 8 bundle did so well. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, why wouldn't you do it again? Because I'm gonna say Smash is probably on par with Mario Kart 8 in terms of how big the game is, or maybe a little higher. So I mean, that's a game that they should have did that with. I mean, I know it's still gonna sell well, but it just made more sense for them to go ahead and pack it in with the Wii U and make a bundle out of it.
Yeah, I think anybody feels the same. What would the price be with Smash Brothers? Would you want a controller? Would you want the adapter in there? I mean, anybody have any feelings on that?
I would say that it would be a good thing for them to do that for a good price of basically when the Wii U launched 350, to have it where you have of course the Wii U console and the gamepad, you have Smash Brothers, and you also have the GameCube controller and adapter.
For
Uh,
So that would
350?
for 350, yes. That would actually, and this would actually work because look at what they did with the Mario Kart 8 bundle. They give us a free Wii Wheel, a Mario Wii
Wii
Remote,
Remote
and Mario Kart 8 in
plus
the
a free
same,
game.
and plus a free game, right? So
Yeah.
here it would actually make sense because the value between the GameCube controller and the game, and well, they don't count the game because that basically goes with the console itself. Um, but the accessories basically would actually make it to the price at least 350. And that would actually be a great bundle because you're getting the game that people have been waiting for, and you're getting a another control option, which is probably the best control option for Smash ever. So it's a really good deal if they do that. Because if they put it down to 300 now, they're doing something wrong. But at least 350 around there they could do, or even better if they can put it the same price as the other bundle like Mario Kart 8 and put 320 or somewhere like there. That would actually work out fine.
I would say they take it one step further and do the Zombie U approach and just have the game there, limited edition bundle of the game there, the adapter, the GameCube controller, in addition to having the Pro controller there. And the reason why that is because that way every control option for that game is explored. There are 100 million Wiis out there, so everybody has pretty much a Wii remote and nunchuck somewhere, or they're at least familiar with it. So the Pro controller is the unsung hero of the console for a lot of people. A lot of people didn't know that this option was there, and the battery life was so awesome, and it still has rumble and all these things that people didn't think was possible when the PlayStation 3 first launched. So now you have 1, 2, 3 controller options because you have the adapter and the GameCube controller bundled in, you have the Pro controller bundled in, and you have the gamepad, which is part of the console. So now you have a full-fledged system that's ready to play at least 3 players, and somebody can come over to your house, and it's not just you and the person that you live with, because a lot of people either have a roommate or a spouse or some of that nature. It's not just you and the person that you live with, it's also that guest that kind of walked in and said, hey, check this out. And and with the adapter, obviously you can add more controllers, or if somebody wants to bring a Wii remote or whatever, and now all of a sudden you can have more 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the appeal. It doesn't get chaotic and fun until you have more than 2 people there.
Yeah, it's definitely that game's best played with multiple people. I mean, in the same room is probably the best experience for Smash, in my opinion. So let me ask Zen, do you think that maybe they didn't do a bundle because they're going to be making a ton of money on those adapters at $20 a piece? I bet they're less than $5 a manufacturer. Do you think maybe it was Nintendo seeing an opportunity to make more money by not bundling it in, maybe risking not having that really appealing bundle versus making some more money off some of the accessories like the GameCube controller and the adapter separately?
That is a possibility. I wouldn't say it's impossible for them to have come to that conclusion, but I don't know. I really don't know. I can't really say.
Yeah.
It makes business sense, I suppose, because the GameCube controller is among all the features that Smash Bros. Wii U is bringing to the table. Among other things that you can do with that game, being able to use a GameCube controller is pretty much top 3, if not the top reason. A lot of people are looking forward to using. So, from a business perspective, you wouldn't necessarily waste that trump card by making it free and easily available to everyone buying the game. You're going to try to cash in on that. On the opposite side, on the other hand, I really don't see Nintendo being the type of company to come to that conclusion easily. So, I don't know.
It is
speaking, yeah.
Because they like to give fair prices. I mean, look at Captain Toad, $40. Mario Kart 8 DLC, both packs for $12. They like to give good value, and it's just interesting to think maybe they were looking at because they know this game's going to sell no matter what. Maybe they saw an opportunity to make some more money and have even more profits. I don't know. We'll never know the answer to that. But so let's change kind of direction here. We were talking about the GameCube controller and adapter, so I'm going to ask Derek because I know he's diehard GameCube controller player. So how would you feel if they didn't make this adapter and didn't have that option available for Smash for Wii U?
Well, I'm going to agree with Shadow Fox a little bit here. That Wii U Pro controller is the unsung hero because I bought the Zombie U bundle over a year ago, and I think I've charged that thing once, and it works fantastic.
Yeah.
That is a phenomenal controller, and I find it really comfortable. I would probably be just fine without it. That said, there's obvious business advantage to going and releasing that GameCube bundle, because before I even knew how much that adapter was, I was like, $50, $60. Sure, whatever. I'll spend $120 to get the game, just to play with the game. There was just, numbers didn't even matter at that point. I lost all sense. It was just throwing money at them, and $20 is a huge discount. I mean, that's free to me. Yeah.
I've charged these once.
It's just something, you trace it back to your origins. A lot of people play it on the GameCube the most. I played on the 64 a lot. Upgrade up to Melee on the GameCube with that controller. Just felt so at home, and then it takes you right back. And I think they're preying on me for that.
Yeah, Shadow Fox, you made the point. You guys both made the point about charging. Also wanted to mention, he's mentioned the Rumble. In my opinion, it's the best Rumble I've ever experienced. I haven't played the Xbox One yet, so I don't know if that has better Rumble, but I think the Pro Controller has amazing Rumble. And you get
Does anybody remember that situation where Sony said it was impossible to get Rumble and everything else inside of? Okay, just one.
And they use the motion controls as their biggest reason, but then they came out with Shock 3 with the tilt all together. So let me. Anyone here familiar with the pro scene or have any more knowledge on the pro scene for Smash? Because I don't really follow that.
I've never been in the pro scene, but I've followed a bit of what they do, and they're just like regular fighting game enthusiasts. They're really keen on refresh time and reaction time. Online at all, they don't want to do. It's all local. So in Brawl playing online, that's not even. Even if it was updated and the online play was a little bit better, they still wouldn't take it. They would rather everything be hosted on one console, and all controllers would be corded. Period. That's just. And I think the Wavebird is great. I've never had any issues as far as reaction time or anything like that. But to them, every nanosecond counts. So. And
when you're in a big group, they fill up convention centers with multiple stations, so I think the Wavebirds would actually. There's only I forget how many different
channels.
Yeah, 16 channels.
Yeah, they would probably run into problems.
It'd be real easy to flip a switch and yeah.
So do you think that the pro scene and how they're hanging on to Melee it's like they never want to give it up? You think anybody think that had an impact?
I have to talk about this mostly because I have some friends that love those Melee people and all that stuff. I honestly think they're stupid. And one fact is, they do not like anything that is fun. Because if you even try to even have a match with items, you can even put a Pokeball there. They don't want to do it. They're just gonna be like, "What the frick is this?" And they're really too. I mean, I hate the Smash players now these days because they look at Smash Brawl, and of course now they have that Project M, and they think that that's an actual made game by Nintendo, which is not. It's just a bunch of mods, and they think that's how this is the real scene and all this stuff. When it's made by some guy in his basement, and then you also have it where Smash 4. They want all the cheap stuff that was in Melee, which is ledge grabbing, all that stuff, back into this. That's why they're not really. Yeah, wave dashing.
They hated the tripping that was in Brawl.
Yeah. They honestly want Melee to be in every single Smash. And I would say screw them, because this is actually a really good speed. It's a really good, at least somewhat, from what me and Zen play, at least balanced game, and it's like, just because Melee's there doesn't mean every single other game is going to be Melee. They want basically Melee for the next 50 years. You can bring them the next Smash Brothers, and they're still going to be like Melee, Melee, Melee. Like that. That's just my problem with them. They just do not like to accept change and actually get with the formula. They're basically like Bungie, where they need parents. you know.
It's
So,
like it's like somebody saying they wouldn't play Mario Kart 8 because they like Mario Kart 64 the best. It's like
yeah,
it's the
or
same
Double
logic.
Dash, yeah. They're like, no, I'm not even gonna play this because this is inferior. I'm just like, what the frick? Who cares if it's inferior? You should be having fun with the game, and yet you got all these pro people being like, oh yeah, Final Destination, Fox only, no items. Like, out of
I,
here.
I never understood it because the whole point of being part of a pro scene is that if you're a professional, that means you've mastered the game in question. So if another game comes out and it has different mechanics, shouldn't you learn how to master those mechanics the same way you have mastered Melee's? Because I'm fairly certain when Melee first came out, a lot of people that were pro N64 version probably thought Melee was kind of inferior because of some of the things that it brought to the table that were a tad bit different in regard to feel and execution. So I don't. To me, those are excuses. To be perfectly honest with you, because especially when it comes to fighting games, the whole point is that there are nuances added to that fighting game to make the game like, hey, anybody can jump in and play it, but it's going to be harder to master. Now, if it's completely broken, that's different, but you'll know that immediately. I mean, with regards to like balancing and timing and things like that, that's something that will never be fixed in a fighting game because the I won't even say the law of diminishing returns. It's the fact that people made them. So you can't QA test an entire game for balancing if people with preferences are the people that are deciding the changes to create said balance. So
And sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just saying that's just a fact of life. I mean, you could pick every fighting game. Everybody tries to default back to Street Fighter and say that's one of the most balanced ones, and but it still has tiers. If it has tiers, it's not balanced.
Yep. And mostly because these Melee players, the reason why they never want to escape Melee is because if they know if a new game they go out to that, then all of a sudden they're not going to be good at it because they've been their mindset is stuck whenever they play Smash is to Melee. That's their mindset. You try to let them play freaking Brawl, they're gonna be like, oh, they just won't adjust.
And I don't understand that because I've ran into pro players that play Brawl and they still play Brawl really well. It takes like a lot of things to go really wrong in a match for them to lose, even if multiple people are fighting them at the same time. So to me, it seems like if you're good, you're good. It doesn't matter, really.
Yeah. Let me. I know you're not a pro player, Derek, but you're the best player I know by a long shot. How do you feel?
You're always putting me on the spot on the air here.
But how do you feel with each new game? Because you mastered Melee for sure. I mean, you and your buddy Curtis played that game like religiously. You took one half of the characters, he took the other half, and you matched up the characters. How do you feel when do you like that challenge of learning the new nuances? I mean, or do you still wish it did things like the previous games? Where do you lie in that?
Well, I'm going to clear the air. I don't consider myself a pro. Please, no one come find me at my home address. Because I don't like to put myself up on that pedestal. That's just asking for trouble. We did, with Melee, we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of time to go back and forth and do that. And that was really the big foundation is when we played the 64 and Melee together. With Brawl, we were older, we were in college, we didn't get to play as much. But I loved that game because there were so many new characters and there were so many changes. Like I was excited to play all the characters that I had gotten really good at in Melee to see, oh, what's this move do now? What's this move do now? Oh, look at they changed that animation. That's all really exciting stuff to me. The only mechanic in Brawl that really upset me was the tripping. Because, no matter what you did, it's going to hit you. You don't have to be trying to wave dash or play cheap. It got away a lot, but everything else about it, I mean, I had a lot of fun. I don't care that it felt floaty or slow or that this character no longer did this, and it was fun to go through. They brought a lot of really cool characters into that game, and and don't even get me started in this game. Just carry on. Next.
So you like to learn and you like to see some changes because it would get boring if it was the same game every time. Like
you and I talked the 3DS version when we played it. I mean, I was so excited. Like, wow, look at how the animation he does that now. That's so cool. He did it this. He looked that way last time, and now he looks this way. those tiny little touches that tell me they took the time to implement those changes, and they thought about every single movement these characters make. I love to see that work in a game. I mean, it's art.
Yeah. Well said. So I'm gonna go to Mike because he's been quiet for a while. You still with us, Mike?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. You know how you said that your excitement maybe wasn't as high as everyone else's for this midnight release, or getting the game. Do you feel that maybe 3DS version, haven't played that for what 2 months now? Or do you think?
You're kind of breaking up there. Can you repeat the question?
All right. Do you think the 3DS version, maybe having played that for the last 2 months, had a factor in maybe why you're not as excited for the Wii U version, because you've been playing it and it's like it's not as new as it would have been if it was just coming out for the Wii U?
Yeah, that's definitely a factor because I mean it's new levels and everything, which I'm excited for, and it's online play, hopefully done better. But yeah, I think that's probably a big concern because I have been playing with the characters and I have been in the Smash, having fun with friends and stuff. So it's not like it's the big. It's more like just better graphics kind of thing.
Anybody else thinking maybe the 3DS version could potentially kill some of the excitement people have, or?
I completely agree with that. That's what kind of dropped my hype down a little bit. I told you I'm a little bit more hyped for Captain Toad now. So, I mean, that's exactly what has dropped my hype level a little bit is that. But now that we're approaching, it's slightly building back up.
Yeah.
I'm going to call you out, Ralph, because I think you should have plenty of excitement in the Wii U version. You only play 2 characters in the 3DS version. There's a lot of new characters for you to play yet.
I know, I do. I do only play 3 characters?
Pikachu, Pet, and I don't know.
And I've been trying Diddy Kong out.
Oh, it's been so long since you played, I forgot about him.
Dang, talk about change, man. You need to play more.
I don't know if it's a lack of hype or a little bit of more, depending on, because that Nintendo Direct they did with the 50 or actually 58 things they decided to show about Smash Bros. Wii, it basically, if anybody didn't buy the 3DS version at that point, they're really don't want to get it at that point. They really want the Wii U version unless they really want Mewtwo. So I don't. I mean, to me that just increased the hype.
I'm getting that CD. That CD's gonna have some insane music on it, man.
Oh yeah, the Brawl soundtrack and the Melee soundtrack were awesome. And the Brawl soundtrack, the CD rip actually was worse. There was somebody, I don't really go into particulars about stuff that's not necessarily legal, but they went around and recorded the entire, from the sound test. So all the songs that were from the sound test actually was better than the official released soundtrack. It was all the same songs. It was just arranged in a different way.
Or?
Yeah, it's straight PCM audio straight from the console. So it's really good. It's just all the arrangements that were in the stages that you played instead of, because they did different arrangements and some of the songs were shorter on the actual disc that you got for Brawl.
Mm-hmm.
So if they do the same thing for this version of the game, I think I'll acquire both. Just because it sounds better coming from the console too.
Having the 3DS version is actually a smart idea, for you can plan out your moves and everything, and actually come up with strategies that that you do on the 3DS version. Of course, you can't really perfect it because of that dumb freaking horrible control option. But yeah.
That's one thing I wanted to point out though. Do you think that they've made any nuance changes as far as to the battle mechanics between the two, or do you think they're drastically similar for that reason?
I would say they have, because the thing is, every single time I look at the Wii U version, everything's faster. Everything, all the characters move faster. Let's say when I play with a slow character like Mega Man, right? He actually is kind of a little bit faster. He moves faster in the Wii U version every time I see people play as him. And when I go on a 3DS version, it's he doesn't really move that fast,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm erring more on the side of optical illusion.
They're both 60 frames per second, but I don't know. I've kind of seen the 3DS version looks a little more floaty to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just 3DS 3DS has a tendency to. There is a little slow lag. Maybe it's because you're playing online and you're just it gets pretty slow sometimes. The frame rate.
No, I play even offline, and I've noticed that slow characters, and then when I see them there, it's just like they're instantly fast. Like that's basically what happens.
Go work at Digital Foundry and.
Well, it's not
ironclad software.
I'm not really going by the frame rate. I'm just going by the movement of characters.
Well, it's hard to say. Have you seen it in person, or you just talking about from YouTube videos?
Like I've seen it in person.
Oh, have you?
No, just to build on your comment about Digital Foundry, I don't think he's good enough for them. You have to be able to spot piece of a frame missing. So, like one part, like 1 point of a frame missing, he's not good enough.
For this particular game, we're gonna do fields per second instead of frames per second. Just for this game. It blows my mind.
Actually,
breaking up a lot.
Breaking up?
You're breaking up a lot there.
Anybody else have?
Right, there you go.
You're good now. Yeah.
Was anybody else hearing me break up?
Yeah.
That sucks. I don't know. It's really windy and it's like winter storm here, so I don't know if maybe.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, it came through here already.
Terrible. So like winds, zero. It's awesome. Please let me know.
Rob, stop taking over his computer.
So I'm gonna to get everyone involved in this question. I want to just ask what people think of the 8-player Smash. Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a worthwhile addition? And will you ever play it? And do you think? And we'll just go in order here. We'll go with Zen first.
Oh boy, 8-player Smash. Yeah, worthwhile addition. Can't tell you how many times I've had that 5th guy just sitting there, kind of wishing he came before the 4th person. We actually had to implement rules. If you lose, you hand over your controller to that guy who's waiting, and that's where we go. So there's some incentive to do well, or at least not come last. So with 8 players now, yeah, you can fit up to 8 people. No, I don't want to sound as if I'm socially inept on this front, but I don't think I know 8 people that can simultaneously come over and be in the same place, ready to play Smash.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty useless for me.
Yeah.
I mean, unless we can use computers, then we can have fun with it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So I know it would be very unreasonable. Now that I come to think of it, because originally when they announced it and then I found out it wasn't online, I was disappointed. But then as I thought about it, I was like, you know what, Zen, nah, that would be unreasonable because 8 people connected, that's a hell of a little lag. So, you don't want to do that. 4 people connecting, you can barely get it to run sometimes. So double that amount and that's hell. That's lag hell. So, nah, I don't want to subject anyone, or I don't want to be subjected to that. So, but when I really thought about it, I'm like, you know what, that wouldn't work. But I must say, it would have been great online. It would have been great online. It would have been utilized a lot more online. Let's put it that way. Because unless you are a really social person, or you're throwing a party or something, you're not going to use this mode to its fullest capacity a lot. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I think they totally designed that for more of the people that are going to be vocal about it, and that's like the IGNs and the other press sites and things like that can actually set that stuff up and and play it in the office, things of that nature, and run tournaments and things of that nature. And also it speaks to basically the Halo crowd, because a lot of the quote unquote Halo crowd that set up LAN matches prior to that, they set up 4-player Smash matches in college. So a dorm room situation is perfect for that kind of thing. I mean, a couple of beers in Smash Brothers, and all of a sudden it doesn't even have to be 8 people. The fact that the 5th person that comes in while 4 people are playing can sit down and play too, that's what gets the party started. So,
yeah, that's a good point. Because it doesn't have to be 8. It could be 5. It could be 6. And
yeah.
I know games. You said you probably never play the 8. Or no, that wasn't you. That was somebody else. Sorry. That was GS4Y. So what do you think of the 8-player? Do you think it was a worthy addition? Do you think you'll ever experience it firsthand?
I think it was a good idea. Honestly, Nintendo got to get them dedicated servers. Just say. And I think I'm gonna be using it, but of course not to its fullest extent because getting 8 people, just for that one time, that doesn't happen every day. But it would be great if that they made it where you can at least play it online. It doesn't matter if it was laggy; it wouldn't even count towards your record. It's like a for fun kind of thing, right? That would have been at least good. To at least
Games,
put it
man.
there.
You willing to go from 60 to 2 frames per second?
Yo, man, whatever's good, man. Because at least when you do play it, it won't affect anything. If you're really that, worried about your records and stuff like that, at least that will happen. But it would just be a for fun kind of thing. Because that's what I basically see this mode, a for fun. It's not really a
Yeah.
big, huge like for glory kind of thing. No.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But
And
it would be torture getting 7 players with awesome internet, and then that one guy comes in and spoils it.
hey, man.
It's already bad enough in Halo, so.
That's why in the future consoles or any time when they redesign this model or whatever, make an Ethernet adapter. Just put it built into the console.
That's what I was hoping they would do
yeah.
with a hardware revision with a built-in Ethernet port. Would have been really smart with Smash.
Now I will say this now, as I tend to be the resident tech guy for gamers at large, and I've probably spoken on this a couple of times. It's not the wireless anymore, especially if you have a new wireless router. It's literally the latency and how you set up your network. So if you have as less hops as possible from your wireless network to your ISP, you're not going to notice any degradation. I don't know if anybody's seen me play online or anything like that, but every console that I have is going out wirelessly right now. And I stream video from the Xbox One, the PS4, and Wii U like no tomorrow, and I have no issues as far as wireless gaming, getting matches. My ping is like 15. So it just depends on how you set it up. Obviously when I put yeah, but see, the reason why Nintendo put that out there is because not everybody knows how to do that kind of stuff. They don't know how to manage packets and make sure that your QoS is great on the inside on your internal network, so you don't have too much chat going out. So the easiest way to take care of it is if it's all Ethernet. You don't have to worry about different bands of radios and all that other stuff in addition to your wireless router doing twice the work before it goes back out and gets to servers on Nintendo's end, Microsoft's end, or Sony's end. So that's just their easy way because they don't know what happens inside your house.
You should do a how-to video on that for Smash.
My connection's fine. It's just I really want to go into more depth because sometimes it's like my family uses the Blu-ray player right inside. They probably go on Netflix and then it basically munches on the internet, So I really got to know about that stuff. But my connection's fine enough. But at least they should make it where it's just like that, for fun mode. Just don't make it for glory because 8 players. I'm sorry, that's no for glory for anybody. Not even the Melee players would play that.
8 players would be bad.
Yeah. So but I have some guys in my college who are actually planning to do something over there where because they actually have TV set in the caf, so we're thinking here. So that actually would be fun, but I think it's a great idea because you always got the 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th wheel coming to you, and then now you can just basically be like, oh hey, how's it going? Here's a controller, let's play. Like what? I can play? Yeah, there's 5 players. Oh, all right. And then there you go. You're having a great time. So I honestly think it's a really good feature, and hopefully they better keep this implemented within future Smash Bros. Games. It's just incredible how now you can just bring anybody else in. You don't have to be limited just to 4. So yeah.
All right, and that's a good point. Bringing up dorms. I also want to bring up family gatherings around Christmas when a lot of these. There's usually more than 5, 6 people together, and that would be a cool time for people to experience it. So Derek, I know you and I there's enough people we know we could get an 8-player Smash. We might end up doing it someday, but so how do you feel about the addition, and do you think we'll ever do 8 players at the same time?
Well, thankfully everyone everyone else made several good points with how it would impact the online, the fact that I don't have any friends, the fact that it's a great addition for if you had friends. I pretty much agree with that. I'm shocked. We know 8 people. We'll have to. In my head, I can count 3, and that's counting you and me.
I can get. There were 6 people just at work that we could get that from the people that they let
Fired?
go.
Or do you mean like looking for people that haven't been fired yet?
Yeah, just the people. We got enough people, so.
If those gamers can't keep a job,
Well, they don't have to because we'll have enough controllers because I got 5 or 6 on my own. So.
Yeah, if you threw something together, that would be the only time I can see myself using it because back in the day, when we did the LAN Halo parties and all that stuff, shit, everyone would bring a TV over to someone's house. It was the most ridiculous workaround.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone would run around with Ethernet cable and TVs. And it was silly stuff back then. But now everybody's gone. Out of state. No one's going to drive back to play Smash in the same living room.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a bit much.
All right, Rel, I know your family, you're a bunch of gamers. Do you think you'll ever do, well, you don't have to do 8 players, but 5, 6 plus? I mean, you think it's a good feature?
Yeah, probably about 5 or 6. I think it's a cool feature to have the 8 players. I think it's cool that they did that. I don't know how realistic it is for you to get 8 people to do it, unless it's like in the college like you guys were saying or anything like that. But I could see probably just doing like 5 or 6 at the most. I mean, it's a cool feature. I mean, it's like Zen was saying, we like to see online unless they're able to perfect it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. We haven't played 8 players. We don't know how fun it will be. It could be like just amazing, or it could be really frustrating. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Speaking of that, we'll probably have an impressions discussion next week on the Juices Loose after the game comes out. So let's just a couple more things here. We got Shadow Fox here, so I want to get technical. Wii U, we know it's not the most powerful console out there. It's different architecture, but it's just raw numbers wise. Everybody knows that. No one's denying it, but it still has beautiful looking games. Talked yesterday about Mario Kart 8, being one of the best looking games this year. Nintendo did something they haven't done really on the Wii U. They made a bold, obvious promotion for 1080p for this game. Like they did it in the 50 Facts Extravaganza. They confirmed it later because there's some people that didn't believe it. Do you think that they made this game 1080p because they seen that a lot of these so-called gamers they really get hyped about 1080p? Do you think that maybe that was a decision they decided to try to appeal to those people? And what do you think they sacrificed as far as visuals on the game to achieve 1080p native, especially with 8-player Smash?
Well, I'll say first and foremost, they probably didn't sacrifice anything at all for Smash. And the reason why I'll say that is because on multiple occasions it's been confirmed that the Wii U has more than enough EDRAM to fulfill the frame buffer for 1080p at 60 frames per second. So regardless of what fidelity it is, be it from people that have imaginary numbers that think that it's somehow less or more than other platforms, it still can do it. So they start from that standpoint, and then they make the game from there. The only reason we're seeing 720p Wii U games is because Nintendo just started with HD. Their goal is, hey, let's start with 60 frames per second first, or something stable, and then see where we can go from there. And 720p is the easiest target for them to hit internally. On the technical side, as long as you have everything to fulfill the frame buffer, everything else is pretty much gravy at this point. The problems that the other platforms are having is they don't have developers with the tenacity that Nintendo has. As far as QA and things like that, and making sure the engine runs first and the game works first before adding graphics and things like that on there. I don't know if you've seen the videos of these games before they release them, but they look really rough when they first announce them, and then they start adding more effects later and later as they get further into a development, because that's the very last thing that they do. So if they said it's 1080p 60 frames per second, that's because it's been 1080p 60 frames per second for a year or two now. So they've had a lot of time to oil this machine, and if they've taken anything out, it's a lot of placeholder stuff that they obviously didn't want to have in the first place, or they just ran out of time before they started polishing the game up.
Yeah. Do you think the 8 players? I mean, obviously wouldn't that affect the performance with all that going on?
I would think that it would, but that's a testament to me personally. If it's still 1080p, 60 frames per second with 8 players going, um, even though it's all on the same screen and it's kind of like a large flat playing field, still with all that going on at the same time, if there's no noticeable slowdown whatsoever, that pretty much their goal and what they stated was true. So, I mean, obviously we haven't really experienced it yet, but we'll find out once the game launches. If it holds up, then the console is an HD console. Period. I all the information that I have about the console suggests that it is a modern architecture. Nothing different from what's out right now. I won't say that it's the exact same architecture, but it definitely isn't the same architecture as of the 360 and the PS3. It's much more advanced than that. So
All
we
right.
see the proof in the pudding right now.
So let me throw out the first question to anyone else. Do you think Nintendo cares, paid attention to, or had any factor whatsoever making this game 1080p because of all the hype surrounding that, that term with the PS4, Xbox One came out? It seemed like the PS4 was getting all the 1080p versions, and the PS4 sales skyrocketed. I mean, gamers these days, I mean, that kind of stuff means something to them. So does anyone think Nintendo paid any attention to that?
Yeah, Nintendo, they operate as in like, they have their own agenda, and they're going to follow their agenda to the letter, and that agenda is usually making quality games, and they usually tend to not focus on other details, but they also have their ear, in the gaming world, and they know what their competitors are doing, and they know what the target market polls. They look at all that information. They knew that they needed to make high definition graphics, and they definitely went out of their way to make sure that the Wii U, had those high definition graphics, so that they can appeal to everybody, because they know that 1080p is the modern times right now. So I
Yeah,
would
I
say.
mean, me personally, I wouldn't care if the game was 720 or 1080. Like, doesn't matter to me. But the fact that they achieved it with 60 frames, it just makes me curious if they actually, because Nintendo's smart. I mean, they say sometimes they're a little when they speak, they don't. You wish they would, like, sometimes they call people out, but a lot of times they really don't address like things like 1080p and all that. They really don't usually address that. So, but it'd be interesting. I'd like to know if that was actually part of the decision, or if it was just, they just could do it and they just said we'll do it because we can do it, not because of any other reasons from the outside.
I,
Um,
I, I think in this situation, they're really letting the game speak for themselves more so than anything else, because that's been their mantra since the beginning of launching this console. That it's the content that matters. So if there's somebody out there saying this console can't do something, and then there's a game that's doing exactly what they said couldn't be done, I mean, that the proof's in the pudding right there. A lot of the buzzwords going out are about tech terms from, to me personally, stuff that should have been done last generation, but they're talking about it now because it can finally be implemented realistically. So things like global illumination, different types of deferred rendering, um, lots of different types of shading, such as real-time water diffusion and reflection and refraction and things like that. Stuff that the GameCube was able to do really well in 480p, but it was kind of hard to do in 1080p or 720p because of the fill rate requirements at the time. In 2005, it was kind of hard to do. So now
mhm.
those things are being done in the quote-unquote new consoles, and I'll put it this way: there is no one effect that I've seen the quote-unquote superior hardware not be done on Wii U. It's all there. It's just, are you looking for it or are you not?
Hey, you got a lot of these guys out there too. That's all they're worried about is the 1080p and stuff. So it's good that they did that because it gives them some buzz. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Look over here, we can do it too. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I
them.
mean,
I mean,
let's not kid ourselves, though. I mean, we want good graphics too. Like I played some great Wii games, But there were times where I was like, oh, this doesn't look that great in this particular instance, and like I said, it doesn't matter to me because I want to play the best games possible, but we as gamers should want to be just as up to date with everybody else on all the other consoles.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that's.
Right.
I'm glad you made that point because getting back to the GameCube, I mean, people are acting like Nintendo didn't make beautiful games before. Did anyone play Metroid Prime? I mean, that game
Yes.
still looks good. It still looks good, and Sunshine, was a good-looking game at its time. Wind Waker, Resident Evil 4. People forget that Nintendo's always been about quality, and their games have always looked good. Super Mario World still looks good.
Rogue
to-
Squadron 2.
yeah, Rogue Squadron 2 looked amazing on the GameCube. So it's funny that people forget that Nintendo they always have the best looking games on their system, and it's always been that way. And I don't know why anyone's surprised that it's any different with this
Terminator,
generation.
I got an alibi. I think I lied to you. You asked me about things that Nintendo probably left out to get it to 1080p. It's kind of obvious, but they probably left out AA because it probably
Yeah.
anti-aliasing probably isn't needed. But they also don't do it in their 720p games either for whatever reason. I think it's because maybe they design it for a certain TV set, and they just leave it at that.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday because some of the jaggies in Mario Kart, like I got a 65-inch Sony, but it's one of their almost flagship Sony TV, and it makes Wii U games look closer to PS4 than my old Plasma did. The jump from the TV I had to the TV I have now made the Wii U go from Wii graphics to Wii U to PS4 graphics. It was a huge increase. So I have a really nice TV, but I do notice, and it doesn't bother me, but I'm saying when I'm sitting at the start line for Mario Kart 8, I do see the jaggies because someone pointed them out in an article or something. I probably would have never noticed them, but now I see them. It doesn't take away from one of the best looking games I think this year. It's a beautiful game, and I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, this game needs AAA." You get rid of the jaggies, but at what cost? Is it worth?
Exactly.
Is it worth not having 60 frames per second to have a little bit smoother instead of some jagged lines?
I would not take Mario Kart at 30 frames per second just for basically something you can only see if you're pausing the game over and over again.
Yeah, and in the close-ups, you don't. I mean, it looks beautiful on the replays. Everything looks amazing.
That game really, because I could not see it in 30 frames either, because that game is basically a fast-paced game. So it's perfect in 60 frames, and I really cannot see it go to 30 or anything like that. Of course, when you play 4 players or 3, but 60 frames is basically perfect for that type of game. And also, Smash, it's a fast type of game too, right? You're going to be having people doing all these types of moves fast, and also it's perfect for people that love getting that reaction time, right? Because 60 frames actually helps out with the smoothness. So it's actually better to have it that way. And I know Splatoon's having that too, which is perfect because that's actually a game where you have to be fast and think fast. So you need a fast refresh rate. That's perfect.
Everybody see the 60 frames per second Splatoon trailer?
I was just watching that. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's really good.
I mean, it's amazing. To get 60 frames, you got to have Chrome, right? On YouTube to actually see it. I think there's one other browser. If you have a PC and you have Chrome, definitely go to YouTube and watch that Splatoon trailer in 60 frames. It just looks so much smoother. It's just amazing. So I think that's the better goal. I'd rather have 60 frames per second. We've had it since the GameCube, and probably even some of the. I don't think any N64 game ever hit it, but we've had 60 frames since GameCube.
Killer Instinct was at 57 frames per second.
Okay.
They claimed it as 60, but it was like 57.
So that was probably one of the few, because there was some pretty sluggish, like Turok 2 was pretty bad, but they've been doing it for a while, and I think we've been spoiled. I commented on Red Knight's post on that Splatoon video, and we've really been spoiled as Nintendo gamers for all this time. It's not like 30 frames is unplayable, but playing Far Cry 3 on my 360 last year at 20, 25 frames per second, you just feel like your controller's not reacting to what you're doing. It really does impact the gameplay on many games, and So if they have 1080p 60 frames solid with this game with 8 players, that would be one hell of an achievement. So it would be
And
interesting.
it's just annoying though, like having people point out like stupid stuff like that. Cause like, let me just enjoy my beautiful game. I'm not worried about all that other stuff. Just let me enjoy my beautiful game, dude. Stop pointing out all this other crap. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, but if when I was playing Bayonetta 1 and it was at the boss feature, I forget the one with the dragon heads and the
Mhm.
big face in the belly. There was a point where I felt like it was at like 15, 20 frames per second on the first game. The second game so far, I haven't noticed any. So there's a few times where in Bayonetta 1, I mean, it's a port of a 360 game. 360 was a high clock speed CPU, like the game engine. They did a pretty good job. I mean, they did a really good job, but there's a couple chapters where there was some slowdown, and it did affect like my dodging and going to witch time. So there's proof that when a game slows down to a ridiculously slow frame rate, it definitely affects the enjoyment and your ability to control the game. So I think we've been spoiled as Nintendo fans all these years. Getting 60 frames is pretty much their goal almost every game. I mean, there's a few that haven't hit it. I think Pikmin 3 maybe. I can't remember if that ran at 60 or not.
Yeah, but in Pikmin, really? Like,
Yeah, you don't really need it.
necessary in Pikmin?
I
There's
don't think you
zero
don't.
now.
But that's just the only game I think that doesn't hit it on the Wii U so far. So anyway, let's move on to Amiibos and then we're gonna wrap this up. Been about an hour or so. So what do you guys think of Amiibos? Do you think it's gonna be like I forget it was Zen or Shadow who said that they thought it could be that lightning in a bottle. It could be that big thing like Pokemon cards.
I think so. I think so, and I was skeptical at first. The first thing I was thinking is like that's not going to turn things around for you until I saw their implementation, and now that I see what they're doing, to the point where they're going back and retroactively adding stuff to other games they released this year. I don't even know where to begin with that. But to me, it seems like they're basically creating a solution that not only ensures that games they release from here on sell well, they're also ensuring that the games that they released this year and I would say even last year remain evergreen, because we know that that's the one thing that Nintendo platforms are known for, is that the majority of their games continue to sell well. So if a game quote unquote flops in Japan, like so many people need to say that, you know, it flopped in Japan or it sold 10,000 copies its first weekend, well, lo and behold, like a year later, it's still selling, and now it's a million seller. So those things don't happen on other platforms. Either they sell a million when the game first comes out, and then you hear nothing from it, or it just flops altogether. Whereas on a Nintendo platform, it will continue to sell. And with Amiibo there, and if they do something really crazy, like add support to third-party games, they could really capitalize on a lot of things there and make a lot of people buy games for their platform. I could see it really going that way, and a lot of people will start either going back to buy games that they traded in, or they will rebuy games to come back and see what the new Amiibo features are. If not for any reason other than the fact that, hey, why not? Because I want to buy it just because it's a figurine and it's cool. So why not use it if I already bought it?
I think Hyrule Warriors is a perfect example. Mike, I'm going to go to you. I can't remember if you're planning on getting an Amiibo, but seeing that Link unlocks that spinner weapon.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did that make you want to go out and maybe get a Link Amiibo? Because I know it does for me. I know I want to get the Link one now, even though I don't care for the pose and stuff.
Yeah, see, I was gonna get like a Mega Man Amiibo or something, you know, just like figured I'd get one Amiibo to train, you know, on Smash Bros, play around with, you know, have some fun with, and now I've got to get Link because I want the spinner, and I actually want to get a bunch of them because I want the different costumes in Mario Kart 8. It'd be so fun to mix around in different costumes. So yeah, I mean, Nintendo's gonna get at least 3 or 4 Amiibo out of me, I think.
Yeah, that was a smart move.
They give a lot of people incentives with that direct, man.
I was going to say, I love that about him because Mike's example is perfect. Link and Hyrule Warriors may have sold him on it, but now he has that, and he can still use it for all these other games. I mean, what? That's really cool. You know, it may not even be your selling point, but hey, because you have it, you can also use it here and here. Oh, and here and in these upcoming games. It's
Yeah.
you talk
I
about
want to say that.
value for your money.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
just want to say that the Amiibo appeal goes way beyond Smash Brothers, and that's why I think it's going to be a big success for the Wii U. Because as long as they keep saying, "Oh, this game supports Amiibo, and you get cool things with this," then that's going to make people actually want to buy games so they can see what their Amiibo does in those games. So
yeah,
not
it's,
only does it sell Amiibos, but it also sells games to customers. It's pretty smart, you know.
it's
Great
really
model.
smart. Zen, you've been quiet for a while. I know you just muted your mic, but are you planning on getting any amiibos? And do you think it could be huge, like Pokemon cards? Could it be like that next big pillar for Nintendo for the financial, you know, something they can rely on?
Boy, I wouldn't take it that far. Pokemon cards is a little bit of a gulp, to take all at once, but it'll become a lot bigger than some of the skeptics out there thinking it will be. A lot of people saying, "Oh, well, it's just toys," and we have Skylander, and it is generally just pushing it aside, not paying any attention to it. I think that's a mistake. Um, I'm not too sure why that is, but whenever Nintendo does something, even if it has been done before, because Nintendo did it, it becomes pretty damn big in and of itself. So I
Yes.
think that effect is going to carry on over to Amiibo. As for my personal feelings on Amiibo, I'm very happy that they're doing it, that they're adding things in, after the fact, going back and adding things in. As equally, I'm annoyed because now I have more things to go do in those games that I thought I was done with in my limited time. So, now I need to go back and, as well as the financial side of things, like the guys over at, I think it was Tecmo Koei, saying every amiibo compatible with Smash Bros. Is somehow compatible with Hyrule Warriors. And here I am just holding my head in my hands. I'm like, oh my god. Why,
They got us.
Yep.
They did it the right way without even a game a lot of people say Disney Infinity is actually a decent game, and Skylander, some people swear it's a great game to play. But you have to buy every year. You have to buy the new figurines and the new game. They don't. It's almost like Guitar Hero. They don't work with the past stuff. So it's like that seems a little greedy. Nintendo, they're gonna hopefully, eventually they'll come out with non-Smash ones. I think, but they're gonna make these ones work with a lot of games. I think a Link one for Smash is gonna work with a Link one that comes out maybe in the design of the Zelda U. I think those links will work the same. I don't think they'll limit them to, you have to get this new link for it to work the right way. So I think it's really smart. Anyone predict it's going to be a flop or not going to really be big for Nintendo? Anyone have that feeling?
I used to think that way.
Oh.
You go ahead. I used to think that way, though. I'm different now.
Darn it, I feel guilty now. But the thing is, I don't know. Amiibo's a cool idea. It was, you can use them for any other game except, you can use it for any other games, not just Smash Brothers. Hyrule Warriors you can use to unlock random stuff. Basically, Captain Toad we don't even know yet. Mario Kart you can use it for different costumes for your Mii. It's pretty cool. But I wouldn't take it that far and being like it's going to be, the best thing that ever happened. It's not going to be like a Yu-Gi-Oh whole thing, there's still people, doing all that stuff. But it's really, it's a good option to have, especially for people that love to collect, figures and stuff like that. It's really cool to have this option because, trust me, I'm getting that Mega Man 1 day one because that thing, oh my god,
It's probably one of the better looking ones. I think.
it looks so beautiful, and I gotta support Mega Man, dude, because Mega Man is, oh god, it's in my heart.
He's like my main, almost one of my mains.
Dude, exactly. He
You
is
gonna get
because
Rosalina too?
yeah, of course I'm getting a Rosalina. Of course I'm getting a Rosalina. Shulk, I think what I'm gonna do is be like, you can keep the amiibo, just give me the little Monado. I don't care about Shulk in general. I just want the Monado right there. Let's see. Every other one's good, but my first free one, because since I'm going to Toys R Us, it's really hard to decide because it's one free one. I don't have money to get another one right now, but the one free one, I'm gonna have to go with a really good looking one because I'm choosing right now between Fox and Samus. Those
Samus.
are the ones.
Samus looks amazing.
Yeah.
Samus is a better choice. Plus, you get the Samus helmet in Mario Kart. That'd be awesome.
Okay, well, I was gonna say let's take it. Well,
Foxes are pretty cool. You get the helmet with the ears.
I guess Samus wins, so
Oh, man.
I'll be getting Samus, but
No
it's
love
late.
for the plumber in red.
Man, screw the freaking plumber, man. There's gonna be like 500 million of Marios everywhere.
I know what one Zen's getting in Wave 2. I'm gonna make.
Yeah, I know what he's getting.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
For those that
freaking-
don't know Zelda.
I know he's gonna get that, and
Captain
I know-
Falcon's looking pretty awesome with the me and the.
I know in the third one,
That's
he's
in
gonna
the third.
get John Cena.
Hey,
Yeah,
speaking
Johnson.
of which, has anybody noticed the connection here? And does anybody think that Nintendo would jump on this, and update this game? But Bayonetta is already cosplaying,
Mm-hmm.
so Amiibo, and then
You mean like costumes? Yeah.
yeah, for all the remaining, Mega Man will work.
Oh, Mega
kinda other-
Man.
Yeah. All
know,
the other remaining princesses that she isn't already dressed up as, that kind of stuff.
I think the
Yeah.
reason Nintendo agreed to pay for Bayonetta 2 was because they had long-term plans for the franchise. I think they're going to put Bayonetta in a lot of things, in my opinion.
That would be cool if you could.
Because I really am because this is a thing that I'm gonna be doing soon. But for X, like a bunch of ideas that they can do for Amiibo. Like there's so many endless possibilities of what they can
We'll
do.
cover that. Actually, just look, we got a bunch of questions. I'm gonna try to pick a couple here. Sorry, everyone who asked questions. I didn't know there was this many. We'll try to stick to Amiibo since we're talking about it. I guess I'm just going to ask one person the question and then move to the next one so we can get through these. Rel, because you haven't spoken up on your Amiibos, we saw your receipt for your pre-orders. You want to tell everybody what your Amiibos you ordered so far?
I got the whole first wave,
Oh wow!
and I got Shulk. I pre-ordered Shulk today.
All right, so with that in mind, sticking to the first wave, what do you think's the best looking one, and what one's the your least favorite as far as the visual style, maybe their pose or whatever?
I like the Samus one a lot. Like you guys were saying, that's probably my favorite one. But the Peach one, I ain't really feeling that one, man. I don't know what's wrong with it. Just
I like it. Okay.
You like the Peach one? I don't like the Peach one.
All right, so that was by Grayson Young. Where did I just see that one? Oh yeah, Flapjack pretty much said what we're talking about Bayonetta. Will Nintendo release a Bayonetta amiibo, and what effect, if released, will it have on Bayonetta 2 sales? Does anyone think they'll make a Bayonetta amiibo? I'll ask. Let me ask Zen that one.
I hope so. I don't know. I really hope. Who was it that brought up the reasoning for Nintendo paying for the franchise for Bayonetta 2?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I hope they have long-term plans. I do. I just recently finished Bayonetta 2, and
It's amazing.
yeah, it's amazing. Freaking heads and shoulders over Bayonetta 1, man. And that is
Way
from
better
someone,
than the first one.
that has come from someone who had no love for the franchise. I mean, zero. They could have said you will never see another Bayonetta game ever again. And prior to playing Bayonetta 2, I'd be like, whatever, doesn't affect me. So, but now I genuinely feel like I'd be upset by hearing that. So, to go from that to how I am now, that had to be a great game. I just hope that they do have long-term plans for it, and why not? Bayonetta Amiibo, do it. I don't know, maybe unlock her in Smash, please. Not right.
That would be. I think they should have had her in Smash. I think that would have helped sales. But for those people that say Bayonetta 2 is a flop, all those haters, according to VG charts, it's at 320,000 units worldwide, and that's what, 2 weeks or whatever in the U.S. That's pretty good when you compare it to the Wonderful 101, who at this point was at like less than 100,000. So I mean, it's doing decent. I wouldn't say it's lighting the world on fire, setting the world on fire, but this game, if it ever gets a price drop, maybe drops to 40, or a deal for Black Friday or something, I think this game's going to sell, and I think by this time next year it's going to be a lot higher than people think. But that was a little off topic, but I've been thinking about that for a while. So let's get to another question here. Derek Steel Fox, I'm going to ask you, what new game modes are you most excited for Smash Wii U?
Oh, most excited for.
Of the new game modes.
I don't know if it counts as a game mode, but it might. That's playing with friends on the new maps that people design. I don't know if that really counts as a game mode, but like I never got into the Metal Smash or the other odd stuff. It's the most fun for me has always been, when you really mix it up with different item options. That's always been great. And I'm glad that level of customization is coming back because we were missing it in the 3DS where we really picked the frequency of items. So that's kind of cool. It's really fun to just get in there and do all Pokeballs and have it just a very high frequency. And it's just nuts, crazy stuff like that. And then someone could really design a stage based around that. Like I've said before in the past, I am not creative, but I am going to enjoy some people's creativity.
Yeah, I count that as a game mode. You being able to play in maps your friends create. Let's see here. Okay, ask Mega. Well, I already know. I know the answer to this, but what characters do you plan on using the most in Smash for Wii U?
Oh boy.
Oh my god, this is such an easy
Grayson
one.
likes to. He doesn't have the 3DS version, so he likes to ask a lot of questions about Smash.
But there are I'll just name my top three. All right, I'll just name my top three. Of course, my first one, Mega Man. My second one, Rosalina. And my third one is Shulk. And the reason I just love using them is because there's ways that I can use them that no one else does, and that actually makes it feel, more unique. Because everybody doesn't really like Shulk because he's slow and he doesn't really have much of a big, huge moveset because he has too many pauses. But I made him a really good character, I would say, and made him faster in my way. So, I'm fine with that.
Has he used his secondary counter?
His secondary counter, I still yet to try that. I'm still trying to get that because I know it's the one where he just goes right in front. And I'm still trying to do that. I just have to find out because that is actually a really sexy counter, I have to say, because it's just just screw you. You launch right off the stage, and I have to try to find that really. But yeah, those are my three top ones and my favorites.
All right. I can't find the exact question, but I remember. It was Tony, I believe. He asked because a lot of people didn't like the motion controls. I'm going to paraphrase it. Do you think Nintendo is overcompensating with all the controller options they're giving players with the Wii U? Maybe to overcompensate for the live options on the Wii. A lot of people complain about motion controls and being forced. So Zen, do you think maybe that had anything to do with it?
Yeah, you can say that. You can think of it that way. I just think they just want to give everyone as many options as possible. So it doesn't matter how you want to play this game, how you prefer to play this game, and perhaps, whether due to your financial situation, your personal situation, you may not have the exact controller you want to play with. There's always going to be another option. So I think that's what they want to do. I just wish that mentality carried over to some of the aspects of their business. An example I want to give here is their virtual console service. I really wish it carried over there, but I honestly think they just want to give people as much options as possible. And there's nothing really to bash there. There's nothing wrong with that. The more options, the better. Options are king. So.
Yeah, it's good to have options. It'd be curious to find out if that had any impact. But I just think because the Wii remote's supported, they had the Pro controller now. I mean, it seems like they like to give you options, and they don't like to your old controllers be worthless. There's always some kind of backward compatibility ever since the GameCube to Wii. And a lot of the handhelds have had backwards compatibility with games, so I just think that's part of their nature. They always try to do it. We'll go two more questions here, and And Teresa Hammond, Tessa, she said Shadow Fox, you should do a tutorial video on how to properly set up a wireless connection, which is what I said. Maybe you should consider doing that, man. Because I mean, I'm all wired with mine, but I know a lot of people could benefit from that. And someone said Pikmin 3 was confirmed 60 frames per second, so I guess we'll take your word on Wii and 360 with me.
Just go with it because apparently everything that's confirmed is confirmed, man. NES on Smash confirmed. Oh, it's all confirmed.
This was kind of a general question, but because of the 60 frames per second, like we were talking about on YouTube, he thinks. Do you think there should be a 60 frames per second app or upgrade to the Wii U's browser?
And
everyone's gonna say yes.
Browser needs to be done. Period. But
yes, I would actually agree with that because they're actually starting to put more live streams and stuff on their Miiverse page, which I'm glad about. So that way you won't even need a Twitch app or anything like that, because you can just go straight from the internet. So they should do that, honestly, because sometimes, like with San Diego Comic-Con, right, they had a live stream. You can watch that on the Wii U, but of course it was in 30 frames per second. You couldn't watch in 60 because I guess I don't know what the right term is, but that's basically. I honestly think that it should deserve an upgrade to 60, since more of their own games are coming into 60 frames. So why not have it where the video player is also 60 frames compatible?
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem I have. Right, Wii U is an HTML5 browser, and every HTML5 browser and Chrome, if you enable HTML5 mode, you don't even have to go through the YouTube Flash 60 frames per second enabler. It's already there because the native file that's uploaded to YouTube, if it's 60 frames per second, you'll be able to play it that way with no issues whatsoever. The issue is if it's a FLV file and it's been converted, then it's going to be 29 frames per second or what have you, and that's the fallback. But the problem with the Wii U is that the app itself needs to be updated. You can actually play YouTube videos better on Miiverse than you can in the app, and that's a problem. Google just needs to go ahead and update it. So I don't know what relationship Nintendo and Google have with regards to that, but that needs to be addressed. Period, and that'll hopefully solve all of that at one time.
Yeah, I stopped watching the YouTube app on the Wii U when I got my smart TV, my Sony TV. It's been looking like 60 frames per second because of the motion.
Refresh rate.
Yeah, that's the 240 hertz. It's got that motion. I forget what they call it on their TV, but that motion blur reducer. So it's a really nice YouTube app. So I actually have no reason to use the Wii U one. I do want to say the browser. I've been noticing some severe slowdown on my browser, especially uploading pictures to Google+. Anyone else, while we're talking about that, anyone else having any slowdown with their browser?
Yeah, same here. Same here. When I upload to Google+, I have issues signing in. I have issues uploading images. It takes a lot longer now, and it takes a lot longer just to bring up your feed and your stream, period. Mm-hmm. When I first got the console, that wasn't an issue at all.
What do you think's causing that? Just
it's more back-end Google stuff and stuff that obviously Nintendo didn't plan for, because it's a bare bones version. Well, I say akin to an Opera browser. So it's not going to have all the bells and whistles, and it's not going to natively read all the new CSS stuff that Google's throwing together. So unless they completely upgrade the browser underneath and do under a firmware update, we're probably not going to see any performance increases anytime soon. And this is PowerPC. Well, not PowerPC, but the app is probably PowerPC. So there's that also, and Google is not going to support that at all. I don't know if you've tried to play any YouTube videos on an IBM anything, even the newer IBM server CPUs, they run slow. So
right.
It's just an architecture thing.
I'm just glad. I was glad it wasn't something wrong. Like, I didn't know if there's like cookies you could delete or if it was just like something backing up. But so I'm just gonna do this one last question. Anyone can answer this. Keep on Stribes, the gaming diva. She submitted a question here. Any thoughts on the Amiibo loot crate offer? Is this a good move on Nintendo's part for advertising? I'm I heard about it, but I'm not 100% on the facts. Anybody know the actual?
Yeah,
Yeah, we.
Go ahead,
I'll
Joe.
take that
Go
one.
for it. Go for it. Go for it.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Good idea, poor execution. That's all I can really say. They're offering, I believe, 10 amiibos over the course of, I want to say, a month or two. Uh, and they're going to give you 4, and 2, along with some wristbands and T-shirts and other little trinkets like that. But the price, man, the price. It's like $55 per week or something like that. It's some ridiculous amount of money. Almost as much as a 3DS. You need to buy a 3DS. And I'm like, wait. Aren't normal loot crates, like $13, $11, depending on the subscription you decide to take? So why is the Amiibo loot crate this expensive? So I investigated, I looked at it, and in so doing, I come to the conclusion that you're probably going to be better off buying those 10 Amiibo separately from the store, as you would normally, than buying this loot crate bundle. It comes out cheaper by about $10 or so. So it's just poor execution. I'm not. Look, I don't know who set that price. If it was loot crate, do your research. And if it was Nintendo, guys, really. So
and it's missing a couple too, I think.
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
thing
it's
is
only
that
10.
Nintendo actually, or the crates are actually sold out now. Like they've sold all of them.
Wow.
So it's
Or
working.
you could
had
pay
been
the
something.
140 fee. I mean, just the 140 straight out.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Which would be about the same as buying 10 of them. But if there's extra things, if there's anything worth like a collector's item or something, but I didn't see it all.
I
Is it
saw
like a rare shirt?
An
Yeah.
ultra rare T-shirt, but you see, when you're telling people, okay, you're going to be buying these products that you can buy everywhere else if you so choose, but if you buy with us, you're going to be getting these rare trinkets, things that you will not be able to buy in your everyday store or online anywhere. You kind of need to tell them and show them what exactly it is that I'm buying, because that's the only way you're going to keep my interest peaked, because I don't want to go ahead and potentially buy something for pricier than I normally would be able to access it, and then you're gonna give me a Mario T-shirt or some nonsense like that I'm not interested in, or is
Right.
pretty lame or anything like that.
The thing is, I saw a YouTube video on what the crates are offering. The first crate has the amiibos in it, plus a magazine and I believe it was like a headband or something like that.
A
The
wristband.
second one, yeah, a wristband. The second one has a bag, like a carry-on bag, and another magazine and the amiibos. And the third one has like a surprising collector's shirt, amiibo, and I forget what the other item was. But yeah, I mean, like I said, supposedly they're all sold out already. So people like collecting stuff. They like little packages, and even if it costs a little more money, it just appeals to them. And I think it's a good idea. If people want to spend a little extra money for surprise crates, then why not?
I do. It was a good idea at its conception, but yeah,
Well,
like I
we'll
said,
see
the execution was
how it
a
continues.
little work.
All right. So I think we're gonna wrap this up, guys. Good questions. Thanks everyone who watched this. I'm glad some of these questions came up because I forgot a couple. I was gonna ask some of them myself and I forgot. So good discussion, guys. Gonna, as usual, give everybody a chance to have final thoughts and give their sign off. So if we forgot anything and you want to bring it up, now is the time. ASAP, why don't you go first?
I just want to say thanks, Juice, for having me. Talking with Zen and Shadow and the usual guys, and I also want to say thanks to my mama for buying me all those amiibos.
That's a nice mom.
There too from moms, yeah. So just thanks for having me, guys. It's cool talking to you guys.
Yeah. Derek.
All right. Well, it's always a pleasure joining you folks talking about some of the coolest stuff in the world. I do want to say that while after I got my 3DS, we got Smash. I got friend codes from most of you guys and a lot of other people. I don't think I have many of you added on the Wii U, so we'll have to make sure we get around to doing that so we can play Smash together on that platform as well.
Yeah,
Well,
we're gonna be playing. We're getting the game at midnight Eastern time. So if everyone else is getting a midnight release, we'll have to. I want to get a few characters unlocked, but then we can definitely hook up and play. I got Friday off, so I'll be playing till I can't stay up any longer. So
Same here.
yeah, so we'll look for all you guys. This should be fun. Should be a fun day, fun night. Games. Final thoughts.
Well, guys, thank you for having me. It's been great talking about Smash and Amiibos and a lot of other stuff. I'm sorry, Sarah Palin. I just had to bring that up, man. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that. But yeah, so it's gonna be great to play this game. I am doing a 24-hour live stream all the way through. So when I start and all the way till the next day. So that's definitely going to be happening. Taking in fighter requests, 4v4s, not 4v4s. One like team battles, for Smash, anything. So I'll be there doing my thing and hopefully to battle you guys there too. So if you guys need any information of how to add me, I'll make sure to have that there later. Just go to my channel and you'll find it. But yeah. Anyway, this is like I always say, don't lose your way, don't be afraid, just game till the end, but with Smash Brothers.
Could have said Smash to the end.
Oh,
Wanna do that over?
That's how I do it. That's how I do it. You
You do it how you do it. Mike, any final thoughts? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some Amiibo, and I think Nintendo is doing a good job with the marketing, and I think the Wii U has some good times ahead in 2015. I'm optimistic. So thanks for letting me be on this hangout, and always I appreciate it. Great to chat with Zen and Shadowfox. And yeah, my YouTube name is NW Order for Life, and if you'd like to check out my videos, I've got some game reviews on there, some anime reviews, and I'll be doing some unboxing videos in the future too. So thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Cool. Shadow Fox.
All right, it's the Road Ninja K9 Descent Shadow Fox Infinite. The only thing that I wanted to touch on today was the Nintendo Deluxe promotion. It's kind of like going to the wayside pretty soon. I don't know if I really think Nintendo is messing up by not extending this at least a little bit until the market share has increased significantly. But I would just address this to everybody that's watching this video. Take advantage of it as long as you can because it's going to be gone pretty soon. So buy as many games as you can on eShop and keep it going.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Other than that, I had a blast with you guys. It was I had a wonderful time being a guest on the podcast, Terminator, and I would like to come back at some point in time. And I like to give a specific message to Derek. You may be a master at the Smash Brothers stuff, but if I find your Xbox Live handle, I will own you in Killer Instinct. So that is the game that I'm professionally good at, but not Smash Brothers. I'm not that good. I just like having fun playing it. So.
Absolutely, and I can respect that.
Derek, one word, man. Run.
I just want to see that. I just want to see my butt get whooped so bad. I want to see what you mean by that. So just let me know anytime, man.
I just love the game, man. But no, I had a great time, and I always say my little catchphrase, and it should be paramount to everybody. But do you play games to have fun or to impress other people?
All right. That's a good question to ask a lot of people. Probably a lot of people buying other systems that aren't the Wii U, but we're not going to get into that. So just real quick about the Digital Deluxe. I pre-ordered Smash digitally, and I forget what else I had purchased, and I was right at the cusp of getting a $5 one, and because I did Smash, that was $6. I had a $4. I was up to like 400 points or whatever. So now, just boom, I checked my Digital Deluxe for $5. I have $10 of eShop credit for when Affordable Space Adventures ever hits. I'll be using that. So that program's awesome. I agree with you. They should extend it. It was for the early adopters and stuff like that, but I I think it would be smart of them to continue that and maybe promote it a little bit more. But they're giving money back basically every game you buy, every full price game they give $6 back or $5 if it's Donkey Kong was $50. So
You
for that money
back?
away that they don't.
Because that money is actually going back to them. Think about it.
Yeah, but
They're not really losing anything. So I don't know why they should extend this. Like they're not really losing.
I just instead of
No,
paying
because
instead of paying $130,
Because you can't get that
I pay $120. So I'm saving. They're giving $10 off of purchases. If you buy 2 full price games, let's say a $50 game and a $60 game, that's $10 you get back. You give it back to them, but in the total you're spending $10 less than you would have. So that's $10 less they could have in
they
their
just
pocket.
got $120 out of you though.
Yeah, but they were getting that anyway, so
That's
they
true.
didn't have to give me $12 back. So anyway, Zen Gamer, any final thoughts before we end this?
Yeah, well, as customer, thank you for allowing me on here. It was good. I enjoyed this little chat of ours. It was nice. All the Smash talk actually got me in the mood to play the soon-to-be inferior version. So if any of you guys are still around, then I'll toss it up with you guys for a bit before moving on to something else. But yeah, it was really good. It was really good. So Nintendo, King of Logic, just here hanging with the guys. Hope to be back soon sometime. Have another discussion, maybe after Smash launches.
Yeah, so we're all getting Smash. I know a lot of people are gonna have next week. Gonna have a Smash discussion on Monday. So if you guys are available, obviously we got a pretty big group here. But I'd love to have you all back. We'll see out with scheduling and stuff, and see maybe we'll see if people can get a little extra time. It might take a little longer the more people we have. But great discussion, guys. He's been really great the last month and a half. I've been really enjoying these podcasts. It's good to talk to new people. I like having people back. It's nice meeting people that have the same interest in it, and it's just really cool experience. So I'm glad you guys willing to join me on these podcasts. So I thank you all. I thank everybody who watched and asked questions. And if you're watching this on the replay, feel free to comment on YouTube or whatever. So with that, this is going to be it for this video, and we'll see you on the next